Dragon to go. That's a 25-minute Mountain Soul. And Neon takes a gigantic...
Oh, there it is again!
It's again! Oh!
That is beautiful! You might question, was it coincidence?
Welcome back, my funky friends. I hope you got your cap jams and your pep ADs ready because we are back for more games here at the LEC. And before we get into the action, I wanted to talk a little bit about how G2 Esports can do more than execute the Sion Senna combo. And before they take on Vitality, I want to run you through an example of how G2 play through their side lanes cleanly and effectively to get small and gradual advantages. Now, this clip is their game versus Schalke last week. So, G2 have an interesting 1-4 composition here where they have a powerful mid-jungle combo that can help them get leads in the early game to generate pressure on side lanes. We're going to look at how G2 enable caps and gain small advantages over time. Leading into this clip, a bot lane exchange happened where they traded 1-for-1 and G2 got the bot tower. So, what we're going to look at is what G2 do next. So as this clip rolls out, you'll notice that Jankos is hovering around the Herald as the rest of G2 move into their respective lanes, laying down poke as Wunder is pushing in this bot wave. So I'm going to now bring up the minimap and I'm going to highlight. Notice that we've got a couple of lane assignments. We've got 2 people heading up towards the top. We have 2 people in mid, and Wunder is going to start rotating from bot up towards mid while putting harassment and pressure on the Schalke members. So as we roll out this clip, you'll see how Jankos getting a little bit of vision, mainly prioritizing on covering for caps, as Wunder now rotates up to join the rest of his team. So G2 are now playing through 2 lanes. This puts Schalke in a very awkward position because Gilius, he wants to clear these bot side camps. They're starting to respawn. He needs to take these out, but he doesn't have the time to. Also, you'll notice that Limit needed to refresh his wards, so he's gone back to base and he is now starting to make his way back into lane. This means that Schalke are kind of spread thin across the map. They have 2 people top trying to protect that top tower. They have only 1 person mid, and they also have the Aatrox moving down in towards the bot lane to start catching this 1 free lane. This gives G2 a lot of ability to generate pressure on the map, and they're able to secure this first tier 1 tower. At this point, you're looking at the minimap and you're saying, well, okay, if their objective is to get the tier 1 towers, well, they've got 1, surely they can just rotate up towards top lane and they can take that. But they don't need to. They can leverage this fog of war, as you can see what they're doing right now, to actually contest this next mid wave to keep Neon and Limit past this point so that they can then move from here into the topside jungle and keep the pressure going. So they look for a bit of a pick, they look to trade a couple of spells, and they're just trying to keep pressure, stop Schalke from grouping. Then Abadege's starting to sweat. He realizes that he's in danger, so he backs off, and Caps secures that top tower. Now, as I bring the minimap back up, I want to highlight here how the only thing that could have gone wrong for G2 is a potential roam from Aatrox from bot lane up towards the mid, and then Schalke could have potentially looked for a collapse. So the only thing that could go wrong here is this potential flank, which G2 completely avoid by resetting and doing the whole play again. Notice that Wunder, he's already in the bot lane. He's already looking to push out another wave, make sure this is clear, and he resets, goes back towards his team, and as I pause it here, you'll notice that G2's in exactly the same position that they were in just a few moments ago, where they have pressure in mid. They have Caps sitting up towards the top side of the map, generating more pressure as well, looking to try and push in this wave, and they have exactly the same setup, allowing them to now invest deep vision towards the enemy jungle. You'll see them keep these waves pushed in, and look at how they're now getting this vision control over the top side, threatening the mid tier 2 and the top tier 2. Now, of course, they're still losing things towards the bot side of the map, but that doesn't really matter. You can't get everything for 3, but this gold advantage went from 1k to 2k to 3k over these last few plays. And this is what G2 do so well. They keep up huge amounts of pressure through smart map movements and avoiding potential opportunities for Schalke. So it's not the flashiest set of plays, but it's clean and it's well executed. I think it's important to remember that while G2 can often be chaotic, sporadic, crazy, they can also demonstrate high precision and control when it comes to executing these harder to play comps. We'll see what they have planned for today as they face off against Vitality in our next game.
Thank you very much, Vedius. Insightful, eloquent. What can that man not do?
Sing. No, wait, he can.
Yeah, he can. He can sing pretty well.
Yeah, he can do everything.
Yeah,
That was the only thing left on the list.
Exactly.
All the things that matter.
It's the LEC caster checklist that you have to go through before you go through. It's like,
Yeah, you
sing,
can't get
can
hired
you dance, can you
otherwise.
play an instrument?
Exactly.
And then can you cast is at the bottom. But we are here for Vitality versus G2, the third game of the day. Top of the table versus bottom of the table. I will say I have more hope for Vitality than I did a few weeks ago. The introduction of Crownshot, especially last week, really seemed to have bolstered the team. Duke talked a lot in an interview about how the start of the season was rough for them. And the question is, can they continue their upward trajectory here versus G2? Into draft we go. Vitality on the blue side, G2 on the red. Rise ban here from Vitality. Caps has been playing that a little bit, but it's always surprising to see a Rise ban in the current meta.
I mean, Caps is going to draw, and it's actually, amazingly, Caps' most played pick this split, which is very surprising. I think we saw a couple more players picking it up just last week, but one of those champions that Caps has definitely played a whole lot of in the past, can play for the scaling route, can play for the side lane pressure as well. Scary thing in the hands of any G2 player, but also the Senna getting removed. I think this is something you have to do against Rekkles and Mikyx on the bottom side of the map. If it's not the Senna Tomkins, which we know is the strongest combination, the Senna Sion, why not? Throw it down your face.
Do whatever you want with that Senna. She's so strong when she doesn't even need to farm. Rel and Seraphine banned away by G2 means we are falling down those support ranks a little bit, and immediately Skeanz is going to get the Lilia here. We've seen that burst picked twice already today.
And I think it's definitely strong, especially because we know Milica does like to play some of these physical damage mid laners. If Vitality want to spice it up and give us a Jace in the mid lane or something like that. Regardless, I'd like to see Vitality hold that mid lane pick for as long as they can. Maybe get an answer here for Milica up against Caps. For G2 though, pretty standard. Even after the nerfs to Kai'Sa, we're going to see them lock that one in very quickly. And what? A Nautilus, an Alistar. What do you want to see, Medic?
Leona, I'll be honest. It's going to be Nidalee for now. Jankos, consistently a very good Nidalee player. We meme his spears a little bit, but hitting over 50% of your spears as a Nidalee is actually very good, and I think he was at like 58% in their road games, so he's a very strong player.
No one's going to listen. No one's listening.
I know.
They're already copy pasta.
Yeah, chat's just like Nidalee spear. Oh, I saw a Nidalee spear flying outside my window. Come on, get new material, guys. There's other things you can meme.
Be better, guys.
Exactly.
All right. Oh, yes! Crownshot on the Jinx. This is not out of nowhere. Of course, Jinx has gotten some buffs the last couple of patches, most recently some HP. And Jinx is actually a Crownshot special.
Yep.
This is a pick he was playing, I think, even back in 2019 when he first played for SK. It's been one he has gone to every once in a while. It gives you that insane range. I think up against Kai'Sa, theoretically, can be quite strong, both in the lane phase, as well as certainly later up scaling into the game, you will outrange that Kai'Sa. The only thing you have to be concerned about is if the Kai'Sa gets on you, or rather, if you get onto Kai'Sa, because now Mikyx has a Blitzcrank to pull you on in, and that's a sick matchup up against that threat.
Yeah, I do love the Blitzcrank. We've seen Crownshot play the Jinx 5 times in his career, won 3 of the games. Last time he played it was against Schalke in the Summer Playoffs 2020. Before that, looking back at 2019 Spring against Splice. So a very common champion for him, very well-known champion, as you say. Blitzcrank is now being locked in for Mikyx. Aatrox's the ban here from G2. They're going to get rid of Szygenda's powerful top laners, and we'll see where Vitality go with their bans. It's a bit difficult because we have the same picks from both teams. You've got the AD carry, the support, and the jungler. Yeah. So you just have to ban out things that you think the opponents might be pretty good at.
Yeah, so it's going to be like the blind pickable top laners here, expecting G2 to save that 5th pick for Caps. Both sides actually doing the same, so I wonder if G2 saved the last pick for Wunder himself. The last time these two teams faced off, it was Wunder on a Quinn performance in the top lane, so it wouldn't be too shocking to see them hold that last pick for top.
I've been informed as well, this is the first time we've ever seen Mikyx play Blitzcrank on the LEC stage.
How about
She's
that?
played it once in Worlds 2019, but never on a European stage before. There's the Camille ban, so Wunder will have his ball pinch just a little bit. Caps is going to be running the Lucian in the mid lane. Makes it very difficult for Vitality because Milica is, you know, he's more of a Twisted Fate, Jace, Syndra player, and Caps on Lucian is very good at punishing those sorts of laners.
Yeah, it's exactly what you're expecting, right? As G2 lock in mid lane. I mean, technically still some flexibility left there if they think they've got a better matchup for him in the top side of the map. Vitality, you need some sort of front line from your top lane. I like the Azir going the more scaling direction. Could it be like a Sion perhaps for them up top side? They need a beefy boy to set up for the rest of the team. Gragas perhaps could come into play, but then your top side is full AP, and that could be a little bit difficult, and that's usually the struggle when you do have AP mid and jungles. If you also need a tank top, usually they're dealing magic damage as well.
And the option is you could look for something like an Ornn and just accept the scaling. Sion will be the pick. Good prediction there, Ender. And remember the good old days of Cabo Shard Sion being picked all the time for Vitality. We see Szygenda picks up the mantle from that former Vitality.
And specifically why I really like the Sion here is A, it can absorb a lot of like ranged matchups in the top lane if that was what Wunder wanted to go for. And also, it's so good at finding out a lot of the champions on G2's comp. Like Lucian has a hard time getting away for it. Same for Kai'Sa. Any sort of like CC you're going to throw his way, he can just shrug off completely. So Blitzcrank Hook can't ruin his day or anything like that. So I do like that final lock-in for Vitality, and it does give them a relatively well-rounded composition.
Definitely does, and as you can see, it's set picked for Wunder into the Sion. I'm wondering, only possible option of flexing the set to the mid lane and putting the Lucian towards top, but I think set is fine into the Sion by himself.
G2 are going to sit in these lanes. I think they're still going to be relatively happy. Like Lucian still does have quite a good time jumping forward for any sort of poke like this. Set traditionally does pretty well up against those tanks in the top lane, but it does feel like, to me, top lane, not where the interesting action's gonna happen. It's mid lane early here for Cap, see what he can do, and then bot lane with the hooks, with the hyperscaling, with the Jinx for Crownshot. That's some spice, Medic.
I mean, the question is, can Vitality scale? Because G2 have not been a team that lets the opponent scale for a very long time. When you have the aggression of a Blitz, when you have a Nidalee, when you have a Kai'Sa, when you have a Lucian, so easy to pick people to get those kills. So Vitality will have a lot of work on their hands if they are to take down G2. G2, of course, sitting at the top of the table, looking for their 10th win. And historically, no team has got 10 wins and not made it into playoffs. Usually 9 wins is our cutoff. So we'll see if G2 can lock playoffs today. Looks like Vitality may have sensed that G2 could do something spicy. Now, Mikyx has flash, puts the ward in.
Oh, they saw them. I think they saw Milica on the back end. You already saw the missing pings come through for G2. Are like, no, get out of there. And it'll all be okay. But there was that ward placed
Labrov
in the tri-brush, and I don't know if they know that ward was placed in the tri-brush. So there's no sweep or anything for Vitality to spot it out.
Maybe they were hoping that someone from Vitality would wait in the bush still afterwards. Instead, everyone will back away. I will just clarify what I said as we got on into the game. We cannot say definitively that G2 lock with 10 wins because we haven't done all of the algorithms because there's like 33 billion scenarios still remaining.
That's a lot of scenarios.
It's quite a lot. However, I can say historically, no team has ever got to 10 wins and not made it into playoffs. So for all intents and purposes, G2 lock with a win.
Hear me out. I've got another one for you. Historically, G2 have never not made playoffs, so...
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Should have just locked them in at the start of the season.
Didn't we? All right, G2, what can they do? Both junglers actually starting on the top side of the map. Skeanz going for his Wolves first, and I wonder if he goes like Wolves Raptors into Krugs. That would be like the hyper farming through your base camps early on, but no, it looks like he's kiting back towards the top side, so not very interesting in terms of early pathing. I was almost getting excited for the early moves, but there's so many deep wards inside of his jungle, these red wards seeing where he's going to be going. So no matter where he went, whether it was to his blue, his red, or the enemy blue, he was always going to be seen by G2 in this early game. There's not going to be any sort of level 2 invades like we saw earlier in our first match of the day.
Yeah, both junglers just slowly farming up their jungles. You can see Caps here able to trade in with a light slinger using the piercing light to get a bit of damage down, but Milica trades back well with the soldiers, shuffles them in. and gets Caps down to about half HP. Both of the mid laners are running Corrupting Potions. However, Caps does have those Total Biscuits of Rejuvenation as well.
Yeah, I think in that trade we actually saw the lethal tempo proc from Milica as well, which helped him get maybe one extra auto attack in on the back end of the trade. It's one of the things you can look at, like press the attack versus lethal tempo in mid. I mean, even more than just like the champion matchup, Caps would very likely like to hop in, get a couple of whacks down, proc the press the attack. That's usually his full combo, and then walk his way out of there too. So in these longer trades, you can see struggling just a little bit, especially this lower range into the Sand Soldiers. He's taken a bit of a beating, but procs the press the attack there, and then walks away.
Yep. That is his intent. Has a slight CS lead, also has the teleport to get back on into this lane if he so desires. He's used all of his Corrupting Potion stack, so he's probably going to back away. Labrov going for a little bit of an invade here. Maybe looking for the flank position. Wunder going in towards the top side as well, but Caps playing very safe off towards his own top river bush. And for the moment, he should be okay.
Yeah, so Crownshot took a cheater recall to pick up a Cole, and that allowed Labrov to walk up and secure this crab. So this should be both crabs, realistically, now for Skeanz. Mikyx going to realize the crab has been taken away, and because Caps wasn't able to get his reset off in the middle lane, he can't really assist too much. Milica has the push, has the level lead, and has done a really good job of trading in to this Lucian around mid.
You can see Jankos actually working his way towards mid lane here, perhaps hoping to chunk out Milica so he can work up towards that topside scuttle. Instead, bounces over the wall and is down towards the bottom lane. Labrov and Crownshot still have all their summoners, of course. No trading yet happened in that bottom lane, but Jankos can land a spear or follow up from a Mickey flash Q. Perhaps they can do something. Waves in an okay position for them to fight as well. Wouldn't be fighting into too many minions. There's the hook, Labrov. There's the spear. The chase is on. Pounce from Jankos. Flayed away. Waited a little bit too long, but Rekkles trying to put those extra auto attacks down. Another spear comes out, and Labrov will be able to just about sidestep it.
Nice gank there, 1-for-1 on the spears for Jankos. You do always have to wait a little bit longer on the pounce before coming through there against the Thresh. Obviously interrupts your combo on in there. Now Skeanz is trying to get towards bot side, but I don't think this actually works. We're going to get TPs involved in this play. We almost have to if G2 commit any further.
Mickey needs to flash away pretty soon. He's going to use the heal for the extra movement speed, and Crownshot able to farm up underneath the tower. You can see Skeanz coming across, perhaps just to help his AD carry get that extra farm, because there was a wave push underneath the tower, and they didn't really want Crownshot to lose out early doors.
A little bit awkward there. And then the top lane too, Szygenda didn't have any mana, so he didn't really want to get involved in any sort of bot lane play. Wunder can't find the good trade, and that wave should be pushed back into the tower.
I mean, both top laners have the ability to cancel a TP from their opponents
Also
if they position in a bad spot. The Face Breaker and, of course, the Decimating Smash can do that. Now Skeanz working his way up towards this top side Scuttle Crab. Caps has the push this time, though, and we'll see if Jankos decides to come across here and try and contest.
Caps and Jankos on the way. TP does come through from Szygenda, and Skeanz has the smite, so easily picks that one up. And again, all a cascading effect from that early bot lane pressure. Labrov helping leash that Scuttle Crab for Skeanz means that even after the reset, Jankos wasn't able to get back towards topside fast enough. So both early crabs, 9 CS there for Skeanz, as well as more camps and a level lead. The early game going quite well for Vitality, I think, all things considered.
Yeah, and Vitality with Crownshot have improved their early game. You can see here, weeks 1 through 3 was when they had Comp on the team, 4 and 5 is when they had Crownshot. They still aren't winning as many games as they'd like. They are still falling behind, but as you can see, their KD at 15 minutes tends to be better. They're getting more Drakes, they're getting more of these objectives. So objectively, statistically, the addition of Crownshot has been of benefit to Vitality so far.
Oh, I like this, Mickey!
Oh, that's really well done from Mickey. Comes round, hooks into the knock-up. And it's a very easy kill for the Blitzcrank.
That's a really good roam from him. Mickey coming on up there off the reset, and bam! Milica just doesn't expect that over the wall. The unseen hook is the deadliest there, and we'll see it in slow motion one more time here. Mickey.
Oh, that's even better.
Timing. Okay, observers, a little Smurf today. Even better than the hooks from Mickey. Right over the wall. Oh! You can't do him like that. Bada bing, bada boom.
Just uppercuts him to death.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
like I'm the Emperor of Shuri, but I just got killed by a robot.
It's Terminator all over again. I will say though, it's good timing from Mickey. But I think it was more fortune than anything else, because I don't think they'd seen Skeanz anywhere. I don't think they had a ward in that bush, so it feels like he was perhaps just looking for a way to find the hook and timed it perfectly by pure coincidence. I'm sure Mickey would say it was pure skill And we give him that. We give him that leeway. He's allowed to. Also, justice for supports, you know? Whenever a support says they've outplayed someone, they have. That's how it works. Anyway, early gold lead here for G2. About 1,000 gold ahead. As expected, they are just getting those small advantages. You see Jankos working his way up towards the top side. Szygenda gonna get pulled back with the showstopper, flashes away, but Jankos is on the chase. And the unstoppable onslaught has already been procced. Jankos just needs one more auto attack. The red buff should tick down on Szygenda here. Flashes forward for the final spear in the back of that Scion.
That's really rough, man. No spears necessary there for Jankos. The red buff, enough to get the kill for them, and unfortunately, it was just a good timing there, I think, from Jankos coming through. Skeanz had the level advantage, but couldn't get an ability down on the Nidalee, and I think if anything lands on Jankos, it's a kill. Oh, no.
Milica put himself up on a silver platter, and the control ward from Mikyx.
All right, that's the outplay.
Yeah,
Give it to him. Give it to him.
He's styling so far this game. First time we've seen this Blitzcrank on the European stage, and he is showing exactly why it should be feared. Moby Boots first, once again in the mid lane, helps.
He's coming from like every which way as well. Like first time he's coming from behind you inside the Raptor camp, then he's coming from the north side. Your team's on the way, but it doesn't matter. Control wards to cancel out the Lantern to safety. That is just mean. And G2 are already sprinting out to an early lead.
It's just so difficult when you don't have the vision control to play against the Blitzcrank, because he can be anywhere. Mikyx here going to walk his way away. Skeanz was looking for a flank position but couldn't quite find it.
Hey, honestly, so August, the designer of Jinx, is probably just like, it cold sweats right now. He's like, oh my god, Jinx using E aggressively because they decreased the time it takes to arm those. You can get those CCs off a little bit faster. Give some skill, some outplay to the Jinx players other than just the insane range. Mikyx.
Looking for the hook once again, can't quite land it. And as you say, like Jinx was buffed on 11.3 with a reciprocal nerf. They took her health down from 610 base health to 550. They then upped it back to 610 on 11.4. So she has only been nerfed so far in Season 11. And that's
you mean buffed?
Only been buffed so far in Season 11. It was interesting, though, because the buffs they gave her on 11.3 actually decreased her win rate because of
in
the
high-low,
health
I
loss.
believe. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, she is much stronger than she was just a short while ago. The trap, as you say, the initiation time on those traps being a little bit lower helps her so much in lane. But so far, not helping out Crownshot too much. 2,000 gold ahead here for Vitality as they continue to feel the wrath of Mickey's golden hand.
Soon to be the diamond hands.
To the moon, my friend.
To the moon. We'll see what they can do. All right. Skeanz and Labrov do need to get active on the map, I do feel like. I mean, they do have like some pretty solid scaling options. I think we can compare the two compositions. Like top lane, I think I'd favor Cyan as we move along in the game. Lilia, I think I'd favor over Nidalee. Azir to Lucian. Like every single role, I'm going to favor what Vitality have in the late game. But G2 don't often like to take things to the late game. They already have that big lead. Haven't managed to secure any Drakes for themselves, which is often like one of the best tools for speeding up the game if you're unsure of how to close that out. Although we saw Vedius do a great breakdown of the macro masterclass. The hook doesn't land, but it's scary every single time.
It is scary. I will actually say, though, although G2 are an aggressive team and a relatively fast team, they have, I think, the third longest average game time of any LEC team.
Okay, but let's get to the bottom of this, Medic, because technically they have the third longest game time. But if you watch the games, it looks like they have one of the shortest game times, and then they mess around for 15 minutes.
There's a lot of action early on. They get a big lead, and then they mess around a little bit, right? So they do also love taking those dragons. The only team in our league that have taken more than one dragon soul so far as Mikyx lands a hook once again, and Labrov goes back to the fountain. I'm likely to say that quite a few times this game.
That burst combination, like just fast proccing Kai'Sa passive 2, just looks so disgusting, especially to a Moby Boots only support. Like his health bar just deleted. It's rough, man.
It's so difficult for Labrov to do anything here, and a lot of the eggs for Vitality are in the Crownshot basket. They want him to scale. He is currently at 116 CS, like 11 minutes in, so going at 10 CS a minute, has the Cull. He's looking for that mythic item. Expect it to be the Kraken Slayer on this Jinx, but of course you can go towards the Gale Force as well if you so desire. Gale Force actually might work well into the Blitz.
Oh, Rekkles in trouble.
Looking to try and get away as the Losing Lullaby comes down. There the Flame Chompers as well, and Rekkles has nowhere to go. TP coming in here from G2 as it's Caps who's going to join the party. Mikyx coming in from the side as well. Has that hook buffered in once again, has the flash. And that minion was asking for it, Ender.
Yeah, that's been an unfortunate one there, but I really like the move there from Vitality to hide inside of the brush, punish Rekkles just as he's trying to farm on his little lonesome. In the bot lane, you'll notice that Mikyx has really not been in bot lane for the last 6 minutes or something. It feels like always moving up towards mid, so I think that's something they may look for again. If standard lane assignments do continue here for G2, which you'd expect that they do, herald down, the major objective being the Ocean Drake on the bot side of the map, Rekkles will be pathing back there once again. You'll note 2 TPs ready for Vitality, 1 on the side of G2. And G2 still continues to put no pressure over towards that Drake. Instead, Jankos just much rather prefers to keep cycling through his jungle, looking for kills and early gold, as opposed to that early objective, which honestly, statistically, doesn't really do anything for you. Yeah. 1 Ocean Drake, not the biggest prize.
And definitely isn't. But we do see Crownshot picking up his first kill of the game, and I want to talk just a little bit about how Vitality are using Crownshot, because they're not using him as a utility AD carry at all. And the entirety of Crownshot's game plan is he gets all the gold, he gets all the CS between 15 and 30 minutes, and then he does all the damage. Second most damage share of any player in the league. Mikyx going forward, misses the flash, but also he's getting 26% of the team's gold, and also almost 40% of the team's CS between 15 and 30 minutes as the fight starts in the bottom lane. Mikyx has burned the hook, and Crownshot will be gifted this kill, but Labrov accidentally takes it with the aftershock. Yeah,
that's a shame there. Crownshot would have loved to get that kill, but you can see like the combination there flaying into the traps even if they don't initially connect. This is a combination that has existed back many years ago in League of Legends history, and now Crownshot will be able to cycle up those machine guns, get a turret play, but a TP behind. Ooh.
Here comes Wunder, has the Showstopper available. He's looking to try and catch out Crownshot. Remember, there's no flash on the AD carry. Labrov's going to have to flash away. Showstopper used only onto Skeanz. The flare away as well as Labrov keeps his AD carry safe. Hook lands onto Rekkles. Killer Instinct not enough, and he will go to sleep. Crownshot kills his enemy man, and now Vitality are on the front foot in the bottom lane. G2, though, not willing to give this one up without a fight. Mikyx's on his way as he works his way through the river. We'll be looking for a hook here over the wall, but the rest of G2 have backed away, as have Vitality.
Yeah, the kill went to Crownshot, but if you add up all the HP bars, it's still G2 with the advantage. Now they'll convert that into the Drake, even after losing Rekkles. But Rekkles KDA being absolutely murdered in this game. Vitality finding him once more there. A really good hook by Labrov. And Rekkles just not able to juke away from that in time with the flash. So Crownshot has now picked up 2 kills for the team. Again, he is the focal point for Vitality. Not just in all the past games, you saw the stats earlier, but they went for a 3rd pick Jinx. They're playing for the team fights. They're building a composition to support Crownshot.
Having another look at this fight in the bottom lane, because G2 think they're in a good spot. Crownshot burns his flash, and G2 are like, well, we can continue to take this fight even after Mikyx dies.
Yeah, and what happens to Rekkles here? Like, how does he get hooked? I'm a little surprised, and yeah.
We've got a little bit of time before we get to that point.
Rekkles coming back down here. We see a Thresh. Rekkles sees minions. Rekkles uses Z to scoot on forward, and then
so I think it's like Crownshot's model is on top of Labrov's model, so it wasn't the easiest hook to see if we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt, but did have flash. Probably shouldn't get hit by that hook.
Yeah, Crownshot juked a hook with a flash.
He did.
There you go.
He did. So perhaps Rekkles just overstepping a little bit, thinking that his team was on the front foot, which they were until he got caught out. Does still have the Kraken Slayer complete, along with the Serrated Duck, so has that Q evolve already. It can be
Get over here.
Mikyx getting the Relic's shield stacks as quickly as possible.
Oh
now,
no, they're doing it again. This is what I'm saying, right? Like, Mikyx's always...
he did the second push! Oh, he still dodges forward with the E and is able to get away, uses the heal for the movement speed. That was way too close for comfort there for Rekkles. Decimating Smash is going to land on Caps in the mid lane. Unstoppable Onslaught comes out as well from Szygenda, and Caps has to flash the wall.
And all the meantime, there's a push in the bot lane from Wunder here, so Vitality really needed to get something, it felt like, because there's minions going to be denied to the tower, and the Swirl Seed not connecting cost them a kill, and now it may cost them a fight too with Caps on the way.
Mikyx looking for the hook, of course. If you miss that as Blitzcrank, you basically have nothing. You can walk up to them, run up to them,
Hex flash up to
them, but really the hook is your bread and butter, and with Mikyx missing it, Vitality are able to walk away. Wunder's wave was caught in the bottom lane by Szygenda, so that didn't end up being too much for G2, although Wunder has got that Blade of the Ruin King complete now on the set, so he's pretty powerful.
The Tank Shredder build. He's not playing around. He wants to bully Szygenda as best he can. Now, I do feel like losing the active on Blade of the Ruined King does make it a bit weaker in the past, because I felt like in 2020, when Set would do this build, because it was a build that we saw every once in a while, like it actually gave him so much kill threat on squishy members, on backlines, and you know, you could use that active to speed up to him, then secure all your other abilities. Easy point and click setup, and then beat him to death, but not really as reliable anymore for that Set.
For the moment, Vitality have actually been able to very well keep this gold lead stable. Like, they're behind. They're 4,000 gold behind, but G2 haven't extended it as far as they could have, and we're now starting to see first, second items coming out from Vitality. Milica still waiting on his Mythic as Skeanz and Labrov look to challenge Jankos, but couldn't quite do it down towards that bottom side. And my worry for Vitality, though, is although Crownshot is getting beefy, like he's getting strong, I look at the side of G2 and I say, well, Rekkles still has a Kraken Slayer Serrated Dark. Caps has Essence Reaver Gale Force already complete. There's a Night Harvester on Jankos and a Blade of the Ruined King on Wunder. Like, that's a very strong lineup that is all going to be trying to kill that Jinx. And maybe Milica can do something with, you know, he has a lot of damage on his ear naturally as he scales up through the game, but my expectation is Crownshot gets burst out at the start of every fight.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely what G2 are going to be trying to accomplish with their composition. I do feel like the more time Vitality are given, the harder it is to actually, you know, come to fruition here. Because there's so many good peel tools for Vitality. The Azir ult, of course, the Thresh Lantern, all these things can be very, very effective. And then once Mikyx is warded out, doesn't have like, you know, supreme vision control and is able to find these good angles where his hooks were super effective earlier on, well then how do G2 get a fight going? How do they lock down? How do they actually lock down the Jinx? Yeah, they have the damage, but they need Wunder on a flank to pick up a Jinx. And what if she gets QSS? That all of a sudden stops being an option. So I do think there's a time limit on G2's composition when it comes to the 5v5 and when it comes to being able to stop Crownshot from doing what he does best.
For the moment, Crownshot just continues to farm. Milica forced away here by Caps, but we will see that Vitality AD carry picking up as many waves of CS as possible. Currently sitting in the mid lane. Vitality, it's a long road back for them if they want to make it to playoffs. Currently sitting at 2 and 9. Really would, to guarantee it, they'd need to win every single game from here on out, which is a monumental ask. In fact, only one team has ever gone 9 and 9 and not made it into playoffs since like 2018, since we changed to this format. That was Schalke in 2019 spring, I believe, where they lost to SK. G2 stacking up their second Dragon of the game, and they do like to put a lot of priority on these Dragons, Ender. 74% Dragon percentage in their games. As I said earlier, the only team to have more than one Elder, have secured more than one Elder in their matches.
Yeah, and they've still got this massive gold lead, so I think it's the right choice from Vitality not to risk, you know, going for any sort of fights. Vitality still have yet to claim a single turret on the map, and G2 will now know where vision is inside of their jungle, but do they overstep their bounds? There's always a Thresh Hook ready to get something going here, and 4 members. Milica not around.
I mean, the thing is here for Mikyx, he can just hook Szygenda if he wants. Hook across the wall once again. That's Jankos caught out. He's going to try and dash his way away. The box comes down. The stopwatch used by Jankos. He's going to flash the wall, but Crownshot on the chase. Szygenda going in as well. And Caps, the first on the menu, shut down. Hook lands once again onto Szygenda, but that's the tank that you want underneath the tower. He will get taken out by Rekkles. 1-for-1 trade in the mid lane.
Yeah, but the big difference is Wunder stayed in bot lane, didn't even use his TP, so he's able to beat down that tower, get that wave all the way into the turn. It's just a 1-for-1 at the end of the day. The big kill, I believe it was a shutdown, going over towards Skeanz. And again, Vitality at a gold deficit. They need everything they can to go onto Crownshot and onto Milica. You'll notice gold advantage for Crownshot. Definitely nice, but a bit of a difference in that middle lane as Caps has gotten a massive lead off of plates, turrets, and kills, of course, too.
And you can see Mikyx constantly stacking up his ability haste. He's got the hook maxed out as he is, I believe, a level 9 right now. May have just gone over to level 10. Has the Shurelia's Battle Song, which gives you an extra 20 ability haste. So cooldown is probably about, I want to say about 10 seconds or so per hook right now, which means he can get multiple ones out during each fight.
And you did see in the last fight, like, it really came down to the supports, right? It was Labrov with a really sick creative hook over the wall onto an unsuspecting Jankos. Of course, you can sort of surprise people with those Thresh hooks. It's not immediately revealed where you are going to be sending that. And Mikyx turned things around, getting Szygenda underneath the turret, and it may very well play out that way in a lot of these fights where these hooks are used to isolate individual members from the opposite team, and it's about who can get the more priority target. You know, can you get a Caps? Can you get a Rekkles? Because those might be a little bit more useful than perhaps an Italy.
I mean, we can see G2 now moving towards this 1-3-1 comp. It's prime pick potential for Vitality. Like, if you want to pick someone, it's easiest when they're by themselves in a side lane, right? But Caps has the mobility from the dash and from his flash, of course, and the Gale Force itself. Wunder has the tankiness that comes from being set and having a stride breaker as well for a little bit of a dash himself. So the question really is, can Vitality find picks, or are they just going to death ball, which seems to be what they're doing in the mid lane right now?
Oh, here we go. We're zooming towards top lane. Caps, no good way away from this one.
I mean, Wunder...
Except he has a million dashes.
Yeah, he's got 2 dashes.
Gale Force.
We did just say. He's got the dash and the dash.
The dash and the dash and the flash.
Exactly. It's a pretty easy escape for him.
Yeah.
You did build that up, though. I was ready for it, and then it didn't quite happen. But yes, for the moment, G2 continually just 1-3-1. Relatively hard to execute this composition, and Vitality have gone much more for the team fight, the death ball comp. But G2, they're so experienced with this sort of level of comp that it's a day in the park for them.
Yeah. It's honestly really interesting looking at itemization too. A double Zhonya rush from both Skeanz and Milica on the Lilia. This is pretty common. Haven't seen a lot of this on the Azir. Of course, very worried about, you know, he wanted to build some armor against the Lucian too, but worried about any sort of hook coming in. He needs to dodge away. If a set's on the flank, he wants to pop that and let someone else take the fall for some mispositioning.
You can see, actually, Showstopper used there onto Szygenda. Rekkles diving in with a Killer Instinct as well, and Szygenda really has nowhere to go. Dead before he can get to the safety of the Lantern. And it just shows how far G2 are ahead. Wunder took no damage, did a lot, and Szygenda was not able to escape.
Yeah, there's just nowhere to go on the map for Vitality, and it's really unfortunate because it does feel like, again, time is their ally, but down 6k with no inner turrets even left, apart from that top lane. Like, you're just going to lose all your camps. You're going to see Skeanz, you know, really start to get starved from his camps. As, you know, you'll expect to see Milica pick up blue buffs, pick up farm wherever they can as well. The Lilia will lose value. Jankos will continue to increase his lead, and the rest of G2, after they push in these turrets, after they push in these waves, you then look for the Gromp camp here if you are Caps and try to take that away.
I mean, we said it early on. Blitzcrank is best when you have vision advantage and you can force out flashes. And you could see, as we shuffled over to the other vision setup, where we could see what G2 can see and what Vitality could see, G2 just have total control. Looks like there might be a fight in the mid lane as Vitality try and push in the wave. Wunder has a flank position, but Vitality just trying to gain mid-prio as a spear connects onto Skeanz, and that's half his HP just down the drain.
Yeah, I don't know what Vitality do here, because again, like, the Drake is spawning and they'd love to contest that, but I like the way G2 are playing this. Over the wall, they want to get a super high value hook. Ooh,
okay, has Mikyx overstepped here? Caps is TPing in, but no, Mikyx just like pulled Labrov into the midst of the meat grinder. Both supports will go down. Showstopper used onto Skeanz on the back line. Rekkles just chunking away at Szygenda. 1-for-1 on the top lanes as well. What will be next? Will it be mid or jungle?
Sleep on Rekkles.
Sleep onto Rekkles as Crownshot is going to fall almost on the back line. Jankos dives in. Crownshot's down. Rekkles still alive. Milica and Skeanz trying to survive. Milica doing what he can off towards the top side as Jankos chases away Skeanz. A double for Jankos. Rekkles survives. And G2 win out the fight in the mid lane.
A huge fight right there. A bit of a nail-biter for a moment, but G2 come out on top. And there's a Baron ready and waiting for them. Continue to drive through this game. And honestly, it started off with a good hook by Mikyx. It got close a little bit after that, but G2 came in with such a large advantage. It was going to be almost impossible for Vitality to come away with victory.
Yeah, it's 10k lead now for G2 at the 25-minute mark. And we see Mikyx goes in with a hook, misses, and Labrov thinks he has an opportunity.
Yeah. See support trades right from the start, and then I like how Wunder goes in here, and then Crownshot starts back, and he's like, wait a second, I actually do a whole lot of damage. He's able to knock down Wunder, but then the big difference is I think Jankos gets into the backline and kills Crownshot. That's the huge difference maker. A spear straight in between. That cannot connect, or the fight is lost. And then watch, the Skeanz is going to step on the trap. Yeah, nice. And then I also think Dark Harvest resets for Jankos off of the kill happening on Milica. So if so the kill goes on Milica, and then Dark Harvest pops him. Beep. Oh no, it's Night Harvester. There you go.
Night Harvester. But he was still
one of those things.
Still correct. We did see in the picture as well, Caps securing.
He has Conqueror, not Dark Harvest.
Yeah, it's probably why Dark Harvest didn't pop him. It's fine. At least we noticed. You can see how much damage Caps does in that team fight as well. Like, The thing is, G2's damage numbers will be inflated slightly this game because they're playing into a Sion, so they're always going to put more damage out in a fight because Sion is so tanky. But Caps, just if he has time to free reign in a fight, if you can't burst him out, it's very difficult to work around him. 4-1-4 now has the Lord Dominic's Regards, the Essence Reaver, and the Gale Force complete. We see Rekkles going for the Nash's Tooth build here on the Kai'Sa for that extra damage from the W. And it's just so
I like
easy.
it. Yeah, especially when you're playing into like a really strong team fight composition. If G2 can take fights a little bit more slowly, it's going to be good. Caps is out of his mind.
Yeah, flashes away from the unstoppable onslaught. There's the culling as well. The chase is on here for Vitality, but they don't have.
But look at top lane, Medic. Like, he just baits in 5 people's like, wait a second, remember the dash and the flash? Well, I've still got him. And now your top lane is completely exposed.
Just so difficult for Vitality to do anything. They also don't have, like, their hard engage is Sion running at someone. It's not like an Ornn. The hook's going to land here onto Szygenda across the wall. He has to flash away. Wunder still on the chase. Pulls back Szygenda with a face breaker, but meanwhile, the mid inhibitor is now the target for G2. That will fall 28 minutes into the game, a 12,000 gold lead. There's a second inhibitor here for them if they want it. Rekkles actually is starting to work his way down towards the bottom lane. The sleep's going to come down as Skeanz only gets Mikyx. Decimating Smash used across the wall here as well as Rekkles opens up with the Acathian Rain. Inhibitor about to fall to this cannon minion. The bound up cannon minion doesn't quite go down. Sundisk now used by Vitality just to keep G2 at arm's length for the time being.
Yeah, and Jankos is completely out of mana, so if a fight were to break out, it would be effectively a 4 versus 5. And I think Rekkles, he was headed down for the red buff initially. His team's like, we want the enemy. He's like, no, guys, trust me. I want all of their camps. That'll be a little bit more appealing. And now, of course, that's set up on the bot lane. Okay, Mickey. Hooking minions just for a little bit of extra fun.
I mean, you got to do it, right? You got to practice your aim. Sometimes minions can be sneaky. They can dodge. Baron has now fallen off G2 as they continue with their 11,000 gold lead. As you can see on your screen, Mac joins after this game to sit on the analyst desk, have a chat with Vedius and Quickshot. I'm not sure what about. I want to say a little bit about Mad Lions.
The next game.
And about the next game.
Maybe about this game.
Yeah, next game is Rogue Schalke, I believe.
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
Yeah.
It's exciting. Of course, Schalke on a bit of a downward trend, but this is one of those games that could pick them back up.
I mean, we also get to see if Rogue can continue going toe-to-toe with G2. You know,
True.
like 10 wins, 10 wins. G2 very much look like they are going to secure this game, although we must do the Crownshot check-in. 3 items, Infinity Edge, Rapid Fire Cannon, and the Kraken Slayer here. So he is the key point for Vitality. He is the player they have funneled. Like, okay, I will say, they were 250 CS on the Jinx and on the Azir at the same time in this game.
It's clear who's getting the preferential treatment, and it's the right call, too. With inhibitors down, Crownshot should be farming literally everything. Unfortunately, Caps and Rekkles both 4 items of Zhonya's on Rekkles, too, so he can get wild in these fights and use all those extra survivability tools. Just to stay a nuisance here for Vitality. Vitality need to find a way to buy space for Crownshot, and you can't let Jankos land a spear. That's what cost Vitality the last team fight, was Crownshot taking one of those up.
And the thing is, it doesn't just become a gold difference, it becomes an XP difference as well. There's a 2-level disadvantage for Crownshot over Rekkles. Caps is level 17, highest level in the game alongside Wunder. Milica only just got over to 16. It becomes very difficult for Vitality to do anything. You see Jankos now in the bottom lane, pushing in the wave. Wunder has the top lane coming in. Inhibitor still stands, but with Baron up in a minute's time, with the Mountain Soul available for G2 in 30 seconds, my expectation is they will secure those last couple of buffs and then look to close out this game.
Well, Jankos is on the bot inhibitor right now. Vitality look like they want to force a fight immediately. If they don't, they just lose so much.
I mean, they know Caps doesn't have flash, right? So they can look for him. Unstoppable Onslaught's going to come out. Caps has worked his way around the corner. Wunder chased off to the side as well. There's the culling. Labrov down to half HP. Showstopper as they try and dive in. Crownshot trying to survive on the back line. And you have to watch him, but the rest of his team is gone. Crownshot may have lived, but at what cost? Rekkles doesn't have the killer instinct, but hits the Void Seeker.
Rekkles has a flash, though.
Milica. And Rekkles takes him out from the side with the Void Seeker. As you say, Rekkles has the flash. Once again, that's another quarter of your HP. Rekkles looking for another one here. The Zap comes out. Rekkles like, well, Zap doesn't do anything I can't do. Jankos flashes in, and Crownshot goes to an early grave. 32 minutes in, G2 will claim their 10th win of Spring. And with it, basically guarantee themselves a spot in playoffs.
Not completely guaranteeing them, but basically
Yeah.
just about as good as you can get here. No team has ever won 10 games and not made the playoffs. And G2 continue to look in fine form here. All smiles as they tested their internet to get ready for their big match tomorrow against Fnatic.
Well, they are at the office this time, so hopefully that matchup against Fnatic tomorrow is a barnstormer, is a banger, as you would say. And Vitality, of course, another L in the loss column. Not the best look for them, but they do still have a chance of making playoffs. You can see, though, like, they, as a team, they seem to be struggling right now. Duke's interview that he did, he talked very much about how much the team is having difficulty, how the season has gone for them so far, and it's a mountain for them to climb. However, some players have already climbed that mountain. You can vote for them in the Kia Player of the Game at LEC on Twitter. Jankos, Caps, Mikyx are your options. Stop. Please stop.
We'll never stop. The Church of Odo continues. We'll soon be joined by Mad Lions coach Mac for an in-depth look on Rogue versus Szygenda.
It's not even that good.
The torn! Crownshot forced to run for his life! Vitality are scattered! They are split! And they are shut down in the river! They are surrounded by Rogue members! And the last hit will come in! The Empress Divine keeps Rogue alive!
I mean, I'm kind of surprised at how Schalke was doing at the beginning. Most of their wins came off of like Rel Kai'Sa duo. They don't really get to have these like freebies anymore, just off of the back of Kai'Sa and Rel.
Workers last time, someone try and get away from broken plates on the chase. Featherstorm, Flash, Hextech on Mason, Killians, still diving onto the backline as Killer Instinct comes out as well as Neon is on the chase. And broken plate dives in once again. Szygenda.
Odo has been doing really good. I think he was what Rogue actually needed. Their roster change helped them a lot, but I really don't think Rogue is gonna be like up there in playoffs.
Then we'll do it one more time. Then we'll do it one more time. Then we'll do it one more time.
Welcome back, and well, welcome Mikyx. Congratulations on the victory against the Vitality, and also congratulations on winning Kia Player of the game. How do you feel about your Blitzcrank? And also, in a scale of 1 to 10, how bad life was your Blitzcrank?
Well, thank you. I didn't think I was playing that well outside of early game. I think early game I had some good roams mid and some good hooks. If I would have to rate it for 1 to 10, I think this was like 6.5 performance for my side, because after the game everything just went wide. I couldn't hit a single hook after that, but I guess I snowballed early game and I helped Lucian a lot, so that was nice. And yeah, it's not a bad game.
Still, it was amazing that you were able to bring up Blitzcrank in an LEC stage, and I just want to ask about your champion pool in general, because every week it feels like you have a new pocket pick for us. So what do you think about your own champion pool and confidence to play a different champion in every match?
I mean, I think, yeah, champion pool is definitely one of my strongest like traits, I guess, because I'm pretty sure I can play every single champion in the game, and I just, whatever I think fits best in the game, I'll just pick it. Like, even if I didn't practice much in scrims, like I don't think I played much Blitzcrank, or even the Cyan or the bit I played last week, but if I think it's good against the enemy team comp and good with our champs, I'll pick it most of the time if I'm confident enough. Sometimes I chicken out and I pick like Tamkench or Nautilus and just like, just pick me something like that. But sometimes I do build up the confidence, because otherwise I know my teammates would make fun of me for picking like a safe champion, so then I just pick like some more niche pick, I guess.
Okay, can play every champion in the game. We'll definitely look forward to your Nasus support in tomorrow's game against Fnatic, and everyone's hyped up about that match. But before I ask anything more about that, did Carlos pay the internet bill?
Not quite. We still have play from the office, but hopefully in a week or two we can start playing from our gaming house. But yeah, I guess we'll see about that.
Hey, I do know we meme about the internet issue a lot, but it is true that Fnatic had a great performance in the last time G2 went against them. And Fnatic continues to bring this like aggressive, almost unpredictable, chaotic playstyle to the Rift every day. What can we possibly expect, in your opinion, for Fnatic versus G2 tomorrow?
It's probably going to be a lot of kills in lane. Like, I think top lane is going to be a bloodbath, bot lane probably same. I think mid lane's probably going to be more chill. I think Niski will like just farm a bit, and maybe Caps will roam a bit more. But I think, yeah, top and bot are probably going to be pretty bloody. So I'm looking forward to that, and the fights are probably going to be pretty explosive, because, well, both teams like to take every fight, even if it's not good for them. So yeah, it's going to be a good game, I think.
I'll certainly look forward to that too. And before we close up the interview, I actually have a story to share with you. That G2 actually has a fan over at Diamond Gear. Because according to multiple Diamond players, the team support Beryl is a big fan of G2, and he watches every G2 game and even chants, "Let's go G2" in the team house. Maybe he's even watching this interview right now. I'm not sure. What are your thoughts on this? And do you have any message to Beryl if he's watching this interview?
Well, I think it's really cool that, I guess, people like us, because, well, we also watch all of the Diamond games, or at least we try to, because, well, we think they're a really good team, so we try to learn from them a lot. So yeah, I mean, I hope they pull out some more crazy stuff. I really like the Heimerdinger pick. Maybe I'll put it out myself sometime. And yeah, I mean, I guess just hopefully he enjoys. I hope he keeps enjoying our games, because we definitely enjoy Diamond games.
Okay, hi, Heimerdinger support. We heard it. Thank you so much for joining this interview, Nick. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we'll be heading into a short break ahead of Rogue versus Schalke, where we'll be joined by Mark, Vedius, and Quickshot for the analyst desk.